No one wants to have sex anymore. It's just too much work these days. Did you know that 1 in 3 men under 30 years old reported no sex in the past year? Yes, you heard that right. But here's the plot twist nobody's talking about. It gets worse after 30. And no, it's not what you think. This isn't about low testosterone or being too tired. The truth? It's way more disturbing than that. Married couples in the UK and US have been having less and less sex since the early 2000s. We're talking about a steady, consistent decline for over 20 years now. And get this, in Japan, over 40% of young adults are virgins. And many of them say they have literally no interest in sex, like at all. So what the hell is happening? Why are men over 30, guys who should theoretically be in their sexual prime, just not interested anymore? Here's the thing. Let me paint you a picture and tell me if this sounds familiar in the comments below. You wake up. First thing you do? Check your phone. You go to work. You're staring at a screen for 9 hours straight. You come home exhausted, and what do? You collapse on the couch, turn on Netflix, and scroll through your phone at the same time. Now there's someone sitting right next to you. Maybe your girlfriend, maybe your wife, and she says something to you. You go, uh-huh, without even looking up. You're physically there, but you're a million miles away. This is what psychologists call ambiguous loss. You're there, but you're not there. It's like dating someone with Alzheimer's. They're in front of you, but they're psychologically gone. And here's the kicker. You can't have sex with someone you're not even present with. Think about it. When was the last time you actually looked at your partner? Like, really looked at them? Had a real conversation that didn't involve one of you scrolling? Let me know in the comments below. How many hours a day are you on screens? Be honest. The truth is, we're so overstimulated by our devices that by the time we get to the bedroom, we've got nothing left. Our brains are fried. Our attention is scattered across 47 different apps. And sex? Sex requires presence. It requires you to actually be there, in your body, with another person. And most of us just aren't anymore. Okay, now we really need to talk about the elephant in the room, and I'm just going to say it. Porn. Here's a stat that's going to blow your mind. The majority of men who go to sex therapy today for erectile dysfunction are young men in their 20s. Not old guys with prostate issues. 20-year-olds. Why? Because they've spent so much time watching porn and masturbating by themselves that they literally don't know how to have sex with an actual human being anymore. See, when you're with a partner, sex is about attunement. It's about resonance. It's about grooving together, reading each other's bodies, being in sync. But if you've only ever been by yourself, you only know how to respond to your own physiological responses. And by the time you hit 30, if you've been doing this for 10, 15 years, your brain is literally wired differently. You've desensitized yourself to the real thing. It's like, imagine you've been eating fast food every single day for a decade. Then someone puts a home-cooked meal in front of you. Your taste buds don't even know what to do with it anymore. That's what's happening here. Comment below. Do you think porn is affecting your real-life relationships? No judgment, just curious. And look, I'm not here to shame anyone, but we need to be real about this. If you're spending more time with pixels on a screen than with an actual human being, something's gotta give. But here's where it gets even darker. It's not just about screens and porn. It's about the fact that we've literally forgotten how to connect with people. Think about it. When was the last time you had a real conversation with a stranger? When was the last time you went out and actually met someone new without swiping on an app first? We're experiencing what experts call social atrophy. It's like when you don't use a muscle and it just withers away. Except in this case, it's our ability to connect with other human beings. And here's the thing about sex. You can't have it without connection. Well, you can, but it's not going to be satisfying. It's not going to be the kind of sex that makes you want to come back for more. Men over 30 are lonely, like really lonely. And loneliness wasn't a thing for men in the 19th century. Men used to hunt together, hike together, go to bars together, have actual conversations. But now, we're isolated. We're in our own little bubbles, interacting with screens instead of people. And when you're that disconnected from humanity in general, how are you supposed to connect intimately with one specific person? Now let's talk about what happens when you're actually in a relationship. You've been with your partner for a few years. Maybe you're married, and somewhere along the way, the sex just stopped being interesting, or it stopped happening altogether. And here's what most people don't understand. It's not that the sex got boring. It's that your life together got boring. You do the same thing every day. Same routine, same conversations, same Netflix shows. You're not bringing any energy, any curiosity, any life into the relationship. You're just existing next to each other, and then you wonder why you're not attracted to each other anymore. Attraction isn't just something that happens automatically. It's part of a story. It's part of an interaction. If there's zero interaction, if you're just two people scrolling on your phones in the same room, then yeah, obviously the attraction is going to die. One woman I heard about said she was no longer attracted to her husband, but when they dug deeper, it wasn't about attraction at all. Her body had shut down because she was carrying anger and hurt that they'd never fully processed. They'd talked about it, sure, but her body was still holding on to all of it. Have you ever lost attraction to someone you loved? What do you think caused it? The truth is, most men over 30 are in relationships where they've stopped trying. They've gotten complacent. They're bringing the leftovers home while giving their best energy to work, and then they're shocked when their partner isn't interested in sex anymore. So here's what it all comes down to. Men over 30 don't want sex anymore because they're exhausted. Not physically exhausted, though that's part of it. They're emotionally exhausted, mentally exhausted. They're overstimulated and underconnected. They're spending 9 hours a day in front of screens, then coming home and spending another 3 hours in front of more screens. They're isolated. They're lonely. They've replaced real human connection with algorithms and porn and parasocial relationships with people they'll never meet. And when you live like that, when you're that disconnected from yourself and from others, sex becomes just another thing on the to-do list, another performance, another obligation. And who wants that? The irony is, we've never been more free than we are right now. We can do whatever we want, be with whoever we want, watch whatever we want. But we've never been more alone. We've never been more confused. We've never been more filled with self-doubt. And that's the real crisis here. Look, if any of this hit home for you, I want you to know you're not broken. This is a cultural problem, not a personal failure. But that doesn't mean you can't do something about it. Put the phone down. Have a real conversation. Go outside. Talk to a stranger. Reconnect with your partner. Not just physically, but emotionally. Bring some life back into your life. Because here's the truth, sex isn't the problem. The problem is that we've forgotten how to be alive. And final question for the comments. What's one thing you're going to do differently after watching this? I want to hear from you.